You know, it's pretty wild when you think about it. The entire future of a relationship, a friendship, a work partnership, you name it, can be decided in the first few seconds you meet someone. Seriously, before you've even had a real conversation, a judgment has already been made.
Okay, picture this. You walk into the office and you meet a new teammate, but this person is having an absolutely terrible day. Maybe they're dealing with a crisis at home, or they're just slammed with a crazy deadline. You don't know any of that, of course. All you see is someone who seems stressed, maybe a little tense, maybe even kind of rude.
So be honest with yourself. In that one little moment, haven't you already made up your mind? You're probably thinking, ugh, this person seems difficult. Or, yeah, I'm just going to keep my distance. And just like that, you might have shut the door on someone who could have been your best ally at work, all because of that one first impression.
And look, this isn't just you being judgy. It's how our brains are wired. These first impressions are incredibly powerful, and what's crazier is how hard they are to change once they're locked in. Let's try another example. Imagine you're driving home, and for just a second, you see your neighbor's son standing outside smoking a cigarette. It's a quick glance, a fleeting moment. You see it, you process it, and you keep on driving.
But here's the thing. What you didn't see is that this was literally the last cigarette he was ever going to smoke. He was quitting for good right at that moment. But it doesn't matter. In your mind, your brain just took a permanent snapshot. From now on, he's the smoker. And even if you see him 100 times after that, mowing the lawn, heading to work, waving to you, that first image is what sticks. Your brain just holds onto that smoker label with everything it's got. That right there is the real and kind of scary power of a first impression.
Now, you might be thinking this is all just, stories. But nope, science actually backs this up. And it's even faster and more final than you'd think.
A researcher at the University of Oregon wanted to figure out exactly how long it takes to form these powerful impressions. And the number they landed on is, well, it's just shocking. 15, that's it, 15 seconds. So in this study, they had people watch just the first 15 seconds of recorded job interviews. That's all they got. And from that tiny, tiny sliver of an interaction, they could predict with stunning accuracy who was going to get the job offer in the end.
I mean, just think about that for a second. The final verdict wasn't based on their resume, their years of experience, or how they answered some tough, tricky questions. No, the whole decision basically came down to 3 super simple things right at the start. How they said hello, the feel of their handshake, and the look on their face.
Okay, so if first impressions are made that fast and they're that powerful, what are we supposed to do about it? How do we make sure we nail that crucial moment? Well, luckily, the legendary Dale Carnegie gave us a super simple but incredibly effective tool to do just that.
Yep, that's it. It's not some clever line you have to memorize. It's not a power pose. The single most powerful tool in your entire social arsenal for making a great first impression is just a simple, genuine smile.
Carnegie tells this great story about a top hiring manager in New York to prove the point. She basically said she would much rather hire a salesperson who only had a high school diploma but had this amazing, joyful smile than a doctor of philosophy who walked in with a frowning, sour face. A smile just says, "I'm open and friendly," way louder than any degree ever could.
And the power of a smile goes way beyond just a first hello. I mean, it can literally transform the entire vibe of a room, and it's even shaped our global culture.
So Carnegie talks about being in this doctor's waiting room. Everybody's just sitting there, silent, probably anxious. You know how it is. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Then, a woman walks in with her little 9-month-old baby. The baby spots a man across the room and just beams at him with this huge, happy smile. And what happens? The man smiles back, of course. Next thing you know, he's talking to the mom, then other people start chiming in, and that one little smile completely broke the ice and filled the whole room with friendly conversation.
This idea is so powerful, it actually changed how we see the world. For instance, ever wonder why we all smile when someone takes a picture? Well, before the 1900s, people didn't. Getting your picture taken was a serious, formal deal. But then the company Kodak came along and launched this massive ad campaign with the Kodak girl, a model who was always smiling, having a great time, and capturing happy memories. That campaign pretty much single-handedly taught the entire world that cameras are for capturing joy. And now we all say cheese without even thinking about it.
All right, so we get it. First impressions happen in a flash, and a smile is our secret weapon. But there is one last, really important thing you have to know.
So let's recap the game plan. First, you have to remember that those snap judgments are lightning fast and they stick around.
Second, your number one tool to make it a good one is a smile. But third, and this is the absolute key, it has to be real. It can't be fake.
Carnegie really nailed it with this one. A forced, mechanical smile? People see right through that. It doesn't work. You have to actually feel the warmth you want to show. If you want people to be genuinely happy to meet you, well, you have to be genuinely happy to meet them.
And here's a super practical tip you can use starting today. How do you tell if a smile is genuine, either someone else's or your own? Look at their eyes. A fake smile just uses the mouth, but a real smile, a true, heartfelt smile, lights up the entire face. It actually changes the shape of the eyes and creates those little crinkles of the corners. So the next time you're about to meet someone, just remember that 15-second clock is ticking. What kind of impression are you going to make?